Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into something really fascinating.
Yeah.
Review articles.
Cool.
They're kind of like research superheroes,
Yeah, definitely.
helping us tackle these huge, really complicated problems, things that researchers call societal grand challenges.
Right.
Things like climate change, poverty, inequality.
Big stuff.
Yep,
Big,
exactly.
huge problems.
You sent us a really interesting academic article
Yeah.
about this very topic, and I'm really excited to unpack it with our expert today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, review articles, they really are unique in the research world. They do something pretty amazing.
Okay.
Instead of just focusing on a single study, they gather information from tons of studies.
Right.
Sometimes even from different fields completely.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's like you're piecing together this giant puzzle
Okay.
where each study is a tiny little piece, and the review article helps us see the whole picture.
That's a great analogy. So it's not just a summary of one research paper.
Right.
It's more like a synthesis of tons of research.
Exactly, and that's particularly important now.
Oh, why is that?
Well, there's a lot of discussion right now about how reliable any individual research finding is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and review articles can really help cut through all the noise
Okay.
and see the bigger trends.
So like even if some studies seem to be contradicting each other?
Especially when they're contradicting each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So if I'm like a policymaker trying to figure out
Yeah.
how to address climate change, a review article could give me a more comprehensive,
Absolutely.
trustworthy view of all the research.
Much more trustworthy, yeah, than if I just looked at a bunch of individual studies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. This is where review articles become incredibly powerful tools.
Okay.
That can help us understand these societal challenges in 3 key ways.
Ooh, 3 ways.
3 ways? Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
All right, so the first one is by advancing what we call theoretical knowledge.
Oh, theoretical knowledge.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, sometimes I get a little lost when people start talking about theoretical things.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
But I'm all ears.
Okay, so let's take just the term societal grand challenges.
Okay.
There's actually been a lot of debate about what that even means.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So review articles, they can help us define these key concepts more clearly
Okay.
and also create frameworks.
Frameworks.
Yeah, almost like mental models
Okay.
to help us understand complex issues.
So it's like having a set of blueprints
Yes.
before you start building a house.
Exactly.
You need that plan to make sure everything fits together properly.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, one example of this is the development of what's called an ecosystem model
Yep.
for explaining why employees engage in environmentally friendly behavior at work.
Interesting.
And this model, which was synthesized through a review article, it helps us understand all the different factors that can come into play, like
Yeah.
people's personal values, the work environment, even the influence of their colleagues.
So instead of just looking at one piece of the puzzle,
Right.
like whether or not somebody recycles at their desk,
Exactly.
we're looking at the whole picture and seeing how everything's connected.
Precisely. And review articles go even further.
Okay.
They can help us uncover hidden assumptions
Right.
or biases in our thinking.
Even in research?
Even in the research itself.
Researchers have biases too.
Of course we do.
That's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Makes them seem a little more human.
Well, we are human.
I guess so.
Yeah. It highlights the importance of, constantly questioning our assumptions
Okay.
and looking at things from different angles.
And
And by uncovering these hidden biases, review articles help us move beyond these limited perspectives
okay.
and build more accurate and insightful theories.
Okay. I'm officially hooked. This is much more interesting than I thought.
Glad to hear it.
So what's the second way?
Okay, the second way is by advancing what we call methodological knowledge.
Methodological.
Methodological.
I'm going to need you to break that down for me.
Okay, so think of it this way. Review articles don't just tell us what we know, they also help us figure out how to do research better.
So it's like a quality control check
Kind of, yeah.
for research, making
Yeah.
sure that we're using the right tools and approaches
Exactly.
to get reliable results.
Yeah, and that's super important if we want to find real solutions to these complex problems, right?
Absolutely.
So they can identify best practices, highlight potential pitfalls to avoid,
Okay.
and they can even suggest new research methods to tackle these complex issues.
So it's like we're constantly updating our research toolkit
Yeah, I like that.
thanks to these review articles.
That's a great way to put it.
Awesome.
It's about ensuring that research stays relevant and rigorous and truly capable of addressing these large-scale challenges.
That's a big job.
It is a big job, yeah.
This is fascinating stuff. It sounds like review articles don't just help us understand the what of these societal grand challenges,
Right.
but also the how, like how to study them effectively
Mm-hmm.
and get reliable results.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
what I'm really curious about is like the so what?
Okay.
How does all this knowledge actually translate into real-world action?
Oh, that's a great question. And that brings us to the third and arguably most crucial role of review articles,
Okay.
advancing what we call practical knowledge.
Practical knowledge.
Yeah. And these articles can be incredibly valuable for people like policymakers and practitioners who are on the front lines of actually addressing these challenges.
It's not just theory.
Right.
It's about providing actionable insights
Yes.
that people can actually use to make real changes.
Precisely. For example, a review article could help us answer questions like,
Okay.
what specific policies have been proven to be effective in reducing poverty?
Oh, wow.
Or what strategies can companies use to become more sustainable?
That's a good one.
Yeah. They synthesize evidence from multiple studies
Okay.
to provide clear guidance.
I remember reading in the article you sent
Yeah.
that review articles played a critical role in quickly disseminating knowledge during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's a perfect example of how this type of research can have a real impact
Yeah,
in the timely manner.
exactly. Think about the question of whether masks were effective
Oh, yeah.
at preventing the spread of the virus.
That's a big one.
Right? A review article that analyzed dozens of studies on mask efficacy
Wow.
provided strong evidence to support mask mandates,
Yeah.
which helped policymakers make informed decisions quickly.
So in a situation like a pandemic where time is of the essence,
Right.
review articles can really help cut through the confusion
Absolutely.
and provide clear guidance based on the best available evidence.
Exactly. And it's not just about summarizing findings.
Okay.
Review articles can help us reflect on how that knowledge is being used and even adapt it to different contexts.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because what works in one place might not work in another.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like taking a recipe and adjusting it based on,
Yeah.
the ingredients you have available and the
It-
tastes you're catering to.
Precisely. Context matters immensely.
Okay.
And that's where the real power of review articles lies.
Yeah.
Helping us move from theory to practice
Yes.
in a way that is both informed and flexible.
So we've talked about how review articles help us build a strong theoretical foundation,
Yes.
refine our research methods, and translate knowledge into action.
Right.
It seems like they really are a powerful tool for anyone trying to understand and address these big societal challenges.
They really are, but we're still just scratching the surface of their potential.
Oh, really?
There are so many exciting avenues to explore as we move forward.
Like what?
Well, one of the most promising is the idea of breaking down those traditional academic silos
Okay.
and bringing together knowledge from different disciplines.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, because these complex challenges don't fit neatly into one academic box, right?
No, they don't.
Take climate change, for instance.
Okay.
It has social, economic, political, and environmental dimensions.
Right.
So to find effective solutions, we need to bring together insights from fields like sociology, economics, engineering, and environmental science.
It's like assembling this multidisciplinary dream team
Yeah.
to tackle these challenges from all angles.
Exactly. What other exciting developments are happening?
Ooh, yeah. What else?
Another exciting trend is the growing emphasis on involving practitioners.
Practitioners.
Yes, the people who are working on the ground
Okay.
to address these challenges
Got it.
more directly in the creation of review articles.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Bringing those who have firsthand experience to the table
Right.
would add so much valuable insight to the research.
Absolutely. Think of it as a collaboration
Okay.
between researchers who bring their rigorous methods and theoretical understanding, and practitioners who have that real-world experience and context-specific knowledge.
It seems like the perfect blend of theory and practice,
Exactly.
ensuring that research is not only academically sound, but also practically relevant and impactful.
Precisely. And finally, there's a push for using more dynamic and adaptable review approaches
Okay.
to keep up with the ever-evolving nature of these societal grand challenges.
Okay, and I'm really curious,
Yeah.
what kind of alternative approaches are researchers exploring?
Well, one example is the use of what are called scoping reviews.
Scoping reviews.
Yeah, and these are particularly helpful when a topic is relatively new or
Okay,
hasn't been extensively studied.
got it.
So instead of focusing on a narrow research question,
Mm-hmm.
they cast a wider net to map out the existing research landscape
Okay.
on a particular issue.
So it's like doing an initial exploration to
Exactly.
see what we know and what we don't know
Right.
about a specific topic, especially one that's emerging or rapidly changing.
Exactly. Another approach gaining traction is the gray literature review.
Gray literature review.
Yeah, this involves going beyond traditional academic sources,
Okay.
like journal articles and books,
Mm-hmm.
to include reports from government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and even industry publications.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that valuable knowledge can exist outside of those traditional academic circles, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to societal grand challenges, where solutions often require collaboration between governments, businesses, and community organizations.
This is really making me think about research in a whole new way.
Good.
It's not just about publishing papers in academic journals.
Right.
It's about connecting with the real world, finding practical solutions, and making a tangible difference in people's lives.
That's the ultimate goal. And with these new and evolving approaches to review articles,
Yeah.
I'm incredibly optimistic about the impact we can have on these grand challenges facing our world.
I'm right there with you. I'm
Yeah.
feeling so inspired. And I know our listeners are too.
Yeah.
I think what's really exciting is that we're kind of moving beyond this idea of review articles just being for academics.
Yeah, for sure.
They're becoming like essential tools for anyone who wants to really understand
Right.
and tackle these complex challenges
Yeah.
that we're facing as a global society.
Exactly. And the best part is we're really just getting started.
A real
As researchers continue to innovate and collaborate, I believe review articles are going to play an even greater role
wow.
in shaping policies, informing practices, and ultimately creating a more sustainable and equitable future.
It feels incredibly hopeful to know that this type of research can have such a tangible impact.
You really can.
It's not just about these abstract theories.
Right.
It's about using knowledge to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And that brings up a really important question.
Yeah.
We've seen how powerful review articles can be, in synthesizing knowledge and illuminating potential solutions. But how do we ensure that this valuable information actually reaches the people who need it most?
That's a great question.
The policymakers, the business leaders, the community organizers,
Wow.
even just everyday citizens
Yeah.
who are trying to make informed decisions about these big issues.
It's one thing to publish these findings in academic journals,
Right.
but it's another thing entirely to make sure that knowledge is accessible
Totally.
and understandable to a wider audience.
Precisely. We need to find creative ways to translate this research
Yeah.
into language that everyone can understand and relate to.
Hmm.
Imagine a world
Okay.
where the insights from these review articles are readily available to anyone who wants to learn about climate change,
Wow, yeah.
social justice, healthcare, or any other pressing issue.
That's a powerful vision.
It is.
It's about making research relevant, engaging,
Yeah.
and even inspiring for everyone.
I truly believe that by bridging the gap between research and action, we can empower individuals and communities to create positive change.
Well, I am feeling incredibly inspired and motivated to learn more
I'm glad.
and share what I've learned with others.
That's great.
And I know our listeners are feeling that way too.
I hope so.
So keep sending in your research requests because we're excited to continue exploring these fascinating topics together.
Yeah, definitely.
Until next time.